His father was a well-known cleric, yet he lived with piety and seclusion, far from worldly comforts. Their life was hard, some nights there was nothing to eat, and his mother could only manage a simple meal, often bread and raisins. He grew up in a poor neighborhood of Mashhad, in a home with a single room and a dark basement. That child would later become one of the world's most exceptional leaders, holding a rare, unified grip over political, military, and religious authority at the same time. 36 years ago, he was chosen to lead the Iranian Revolution and to succeed Ayatollah Sayyid Ruhollah Khomeini as the country's supreme leader. First, one clarification: Khomeini and Khamenei are not the same person. Khomeini was the first leader of the revolution, and Khamenei became the second. Ayatollah, meaning sign of God, is a title reserved for high-ranking Shiite clerics. And Sayyid is used for those believed to be descendants of the Prophet of Islam, titles that carry deep respect across the Muslim world. In this video, we explore the life story of the leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei. Subscribe to the channel, and stay with us until the end. Sayyid Ali Khamenei was born on April 19, 1939 in Mashhad. He was the second son of Haji Sayyid Javad Hosseini, a man known for turning away from material life and embracing asceticism. His grandfather, Sayyid Hossein Khamenei, was counted among the scholars who supported the Constitutional Revolution, or Mashhad. His mother, Lady Murtamadi, was deeply pious, literate, perceptive, drawn to reading, and gifted in poetry. He began his education at age 4 by learning the Holy Quran. Alongside regular school, he studied Hausa, seminary lessons, within the Shiite tradition, where clerics are trained in religious sciences. In 1957, at only 18, he traveled with his family to Najaf, a city of major religious importance for Shias in Iraq. There, he studied under figures such as Sayyid Abolghasem al-Khoyai. From 1957 to 1964, he was in Qom, one of Iran's most important religious centers and the main hub for clerical training, benefiting from teachers such as Burjurdi, Sayyid Ruhollah Khomeini, and Allama Tabatabai. Much of that period was spent in research, study, and teaching. In 1964, despite his strong desire to continue studying, he returned to Mashhad to care for his father. It was a difficult crossroads, the spiritual reward of service versus the pursuit of higher goals through education. He chose to serve his father. Khamenei was also deeply familiar with poetry and literature. He remained interested in novels and stories, reading many renowned works, and in Mashhad, he attended literary societies with leading poets of the era, writing poems himself. From his youth, alongside seminary study, he researched, wrote, and translated, leaving behind various works. His first meeting with Ayatollah Sayyid Ruhollah Khomeini was in 1957, when Khamenei was 18. In 1961, as Khomeini's struggle against the Pahlavi regime began, the young Khamenei was among the first to join that movement. As his political activity intensified, he was arrested for the first time in 1963 by the Pahlavi regime and imprisoned in Mashhad, though he was soon released. A few months later, after traveling to Zahedan for preaching and receiving a strong public, he was imprisoned again, this time in Kazirkal prison, a detention center for political prisoners. He was released soon after, but from that point until the victory of the Islamic Revolution, he remained under constant surveillance. In the autumn of 1964, with several friends, including figures such as Ali Akbar Rafsanjani, he formed a group of 11 aimed at fighting the Pahlavi regime. In 1967, SAVAK, the regime's secret police and intelligence agency, discovered the group. Several members were arrested and others, including Khamenei, were pursued. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison for membership in the group of 11, but refused to appear in court. Overall, he was imprisoned multiple times, with his harshest imprisonment occurring in 1974, exactly 4 years before the revolution's victory, when he said he endured his most painful detention, no visits, and his family had no information about where he was being held or his condition. His activities were highly sensitive to SAVAK because his speeches drew large crowds. By government order, he was banned from leaving the country until the revolution's victory. After the death of Ayatollah Borujerdi, the question of marja'iyat, religious leadership among the world's Shias, rose sharply. Khamenei worked intensely to strengthen Ayatollah Sayyid Ruhollah Khomeini's position as the most learned source of emulation. Even while listed among banned preachers, he continued speaking in many places, until Savak finally shut down even his teaching sessions at home. After his release in 1975, surveillance continued. By 1977, the revolution entered its final stage, and the Pahlavi regime exiled a number of well-known activists. Ayatollah Khamenei was sentenced to 3 years of exile in Iranshar. Savak raided his house, arrested him, and sent him there to sever his link with the public. Yet, in exile, he still connected with various groups and gained popularity, so Savak moved him to Jiroft. In 1978, a speech in Jiroft triggered public demonstrations against the regime. Unable to contain the revolutionary tide, the authorities ultimately left him alone, and that same year, he returned to Mashhad. One of his most significant acts before the revolution's victory took place during Ashura. In Mashhad, he delivered a passionate speech and read a khutbah in the name of Sayyid Ruhollah Khomeini at the shrine of Imam Reza. Traditionally, sermons were read in the name of the king of the time. This act broke that pattern, because until then, clerics in formal ceremonies would pray for the Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. By late 1978, the collapse of the Pahlavi government accelerated. Imam Khomeini ordered the formation of the Council of the Islamic Revolution, and Ayatollah Khamenei was appointed to it. The revolution finally triumphed, and Ayatollah Sayyid Ruhollah Khomeini returned to Iran on February 1, 1979, met by an unprecedented. Broadly, Khamenei's pre-revolution activities can be condensed into a few points: education, teaching, writing, and translation, cooperation with Imam Khomeini's movement, Imam Khomeini's exile to Turkey, and continued secret activity, being arrested, imprisoned, and tortured by Savak at least 6 times. After the revolution's victory, some members of the council entered major ministries. Among them, Ayatollah Khamenei entered the Ministry of Defense. He also took responsibility for supervising the Islamic Revolution Guard Corps, or IRGC, a post he reached a few months after the revolution, then resigned months later to run for the Islamic Consultative Assembly, or Parliament. In 1980, he entered Parliament through elections. After victory, Khamenei and several allies, including Ayatollah Beheshti and Ayatollah Ali Akbar Rafsanjani, founded the Islamic Republic Party. He later became the party's 3rd Secretary General after Ayatollah Beheshti and Dr. Behoner, and held that post even during his presidency. In 1987, the party was closed with Imam Khomeini's agreement, for reasons including that its key figures were holding major government offices. Here is the turning point. In the early days after victory, the young Khamenei was not viewed as equal in stature to the revolution's first-year leaders. With figures like Ayatollah Beheshti, Ayatollah Motahari, Ayatollah Montazeri, and others present, few imagined someone like Khamenei would become leader. His rise became a model of gradual progress. After the revolution, at Imam Khomeini's suggestion, he was appointed Friday prayer leader of Tehran. On September 22, 1980, Saddam Hussein's Iraqi army attacked Iran by air and land, launching the Iran-Iraq War. From the first hours, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei played an active role in military affairs, appearing on the front lines in uniform and serving as Imam Khomeini's advisor on military matters. Iran's first president after the revolution was Abolhassan Banisadr. Because of his secular leanings and opposition to religious forces, he was dismissed from the presidency by Ayatollah Khomeini. After Banisadr's dismissal, Muhammad Ali Rajai was elected president for only 28 days, before he was assassinated in a bombing at the Prime Minister's office. After Rajai's death, elections were held again. This time, Ayatollah Khamenei ran and was elected president with 95.11% of the vote. During his first 4 years, disagreements with the Prime Minister and some cabinet members made him reluctant to run again, but after Imam Khomeini advised him, he did. In the second round, he was again elected president with 85% of the votes. His 2 presidential terms coincided with the Iran-Iraq War and were among the hardest periods of his life. He served 2 terms as the elected president of the Iranian people. In June 1989, as the country prepared for the funeral and burial of Ayatollah Sayyid Ruhollah Khomeini, the Assembly of Experts met to choose the next leader of the Islamic Republic system. Several figures proposed Khamenei for leadership, saying that in Imam Khomeini's view, he had the competence to lead. Ali Akbar Rafsanjani played the most significant role in Khamenei's rise to the position. Sayyid Ahmad Khomeini, closest to Imam Khomeini, quoted him as saying of Ayatollah Khamenei, "He has the merit for leadership." In that assembly, Sayyid Ali Khamenei, 50 years old, became leader by a majority vote. After becoming the leader, the first decade of his rule focused on strengthening the foundations of his power. In those years, he strengthened the IRGC, dealt harshly with critical newspapers, witnessed several mysterious assassinations of opponents, some say under his orders, and from his first day in power until today, he has severely suppressed multiple public uprisings. In that period, Iran grew stronger across the Middle East, it helped the Syrian government win its civil war, strengthened Hezbollah in Lebanon, and provided military aid to the Yemeni revolutionaries, or Houthis. Today, 36 years have passed since the beginning of Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei's leadership, and he continues. Since the beginning of his leadership, he has continued to